Hi everyone, it's Vanessa from Cake Style and I have a really cool cake for a really cool movie. I'm going to be making Cheshire Cat, a Tim Burton style of course. We've got the new movie coming out and it's really exciting. Actually it's out and I haven't seen it yet. So I'm really looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I wanted to whip up an awesomely cute cake version of him. To do that, I have baked a 9-inch round cake. I'll add the details in the description box below for what recipe I used. And I also have my sweet buttercream made up in a vanilla bean flavor because it's yummy and I love it. And I've done it in a really nice turquoise Americolor. I have here a picture of Cheshire himself and I'm going to be using this as a template. And the easiest way to do that is just to take a little bit of sticky tape and then flip it over and do the same to the back. Okay, so now I'm going to cut it out. Now we've got to cut off this kitty's ears because we don't need that to be cake. The next step is to take our cake and just mark out a filling layer. So I'm going to apply the cake with a little bit of buttercream, add a yummy filling layer, and now pop that bit on. Next, I'm going to pop my cake on the turntable, have my little template right here, and just start to carve. I want to use a bread knife to cut off the excess. We are going to have some serious morning tea around here, that's for sure. I got a lot of leftovers. Okay, so that got us the overall shape, but now we have to give it a little bit more 3D dimension. So what I'm going to do is cut around the eyes. And just go around like that, a bit like a mask. And then mark this out with a steak knife. And we're just going to cut down that section. I'm not going to do as much to the nose. Now just go around and blunt off all of the edges of the cake. Now cut around his mouth with his cheeky, wicked kind of grin. That's kind of there. Carve that away a little bit. Now I'm going to take some of the offcuts and just build up the nose a little bit. And then it's time to apply a crumb coat just to lock in all those crumbs. Then this whole thing goes into the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes. Once that's firmed up, it's time to do a final coat of buttercream that's just a little bit thicker. As soon as that is done, you want to go ahead and get some grey fondant. Now, I know this looks almost white. It's a really, really, really pale grey. Even though it's cold here today, it's always kind of a little bit humid. So I always make sure I put a bit of cornflour down. Drag my cake over. Drape that over the top. These are where the eyes are. Turn that around. So I want to mark that early. Now I like to chop off most of the excess first. Now I'll go around a little bit closer and just trim it up. All right, that is nice and attached. Now it's time to take this and just press down using the ball tool. That's our eyes. And that to wear down a little. Now don't worry if it pokes through because we're going to be adding some black fondant anyway. Use a boning tool now. Okay, now I have a gorgeous set of shaping tools. And that's going to help to have nice strong lines. Just using the pointy ones and then I'm just going to flatten out that fondant. I want to make the brow bone a little more prominent. And I also want to make some room for those eyeballs. Coolest eyeballs ever. I'm not going to add the eyeballs yet because I want to dust them. I'm going to make a mark where the nose is going to be added. And I actually want to flatten it down rather than up so that I can add a section of pink fondant. I want to make a long flat triangle and attach that and just fan that out. Put some around the eyes. Now for the ears, I'm going to make again, bit of a flat triangle, and I want to stretch it a little bit wider so that I can curl it over. Now you can apply that with a bit of water or sugar glue. To help these attach, I'm just going to start to texturize them, and that will make them adhere. 3 little sections here. Taking a scribe tool, I'm just going to mark out the fur, just going in this direction under the eye, all the way up, and blending that section. Now we're going to go all the way under his big mouth, and just go underneath as well. Taking the boning tool, I'm just going to smooth this. Do this little brow bone. I want to do the outside of the ear. Then I'm going to prop some things under the ears so that I can let this rest up before I add the black and the pink. Adding the pink is so easy. We just want to make a little tiny triangle, slot that in, pop that in there, and using just the small end of a boning tool, just going to attach that in. And then just score right where it meets. The most fun part for me has to be doing these eyes. I love how bright they are. Make 2 little balls and then flatten them out. And then I want to allow these to just dry like that. I'm going to slot that in right there. I want to make sure that the bottom is looking nice and crisp. And then use a boning tool to get the rest into its little crevices, and that way you can come along and trim it up. Now this bit is going to need a little bit of either water or sugar glue. It's not really going to go anywhere, obviously it's not just going to sort of float away, but I don't want it to move while I'm dusting. So lay that back down. So now I'm just going to come in and make some little nostrils. Getting ready to do his eyes. I'm already making a mess with these colours, they're so strong. And I want to have some of the really bright lime green just off to the side here. And I've got some teal. And then some really bright royal blue. Kind of have to keep doing layers just to get the depth of colour you want. And then I want to keep those off to the side. I want to mix all 3 colours together to get a really nice teal shade. And I want to dust that in first, basically around these 3 protruding sections. And then right around here. So I want to do a little bit on the side here. Now what I want to do is just add the white where it needs to be. I want to do it to this brow bone and down the sides here. Just little bits along here. Now I want to add the black carefully around the nose. Just want to get into a couple of those creases with a fair bit of black right where it joins at the bottom. Some bits down here, just into some of the grooves right up here, into the eye sockets, do some little cat's eye little wings, just to the ears. Then I'm going to mix together some grey. I want to leave it kind of uneven just to get lots of variety, so I'm not going to stir it too much, and I'm just going to dust around. I'm going to start by going near the sections that are black, but not going too close to the sections with the teal yet. Now I'm going to add some more white. I'm going to go over the teal bits. And then add in our eyes. I'm going to mix together some black food colouring and some clear alcohol and create a paint to paint the eyes. And I want to come back and paint around the eye as well. Now the last part is to get some teeth happening. To do that, you're going to need some white fondant, and you can use either some sugar glue, some water, or some clear alcohol to attach, and a paintbrush. You want to roll and flatten, and then create a bit of a pointed edge and a flat edge. Work the surface a little bit. Next ones are really long, very pointy. Officially, the hardest thing to do. Make matching teeth. Now I got to the end, and honestly, I noticed that he just was way too small in the mouth because he has a big mouth. So I'm adding more black as far up as I can, and that way I can add way more teeth. And that is our Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. I really loved making this cake. It was so much fun. I can't wait to see the new movie. It's so exciting. I always love Tim Burton movies. Remember to give a thumbs up if you like these videos, and I will see you again on Tuesday.